How's it going, guys? I'm your host Carbine Gaming. Welcome back to this week's Adventure Quest release video. And this week I am actually doing the Adventure Quest release video. First is because Dragon Faber release got delayed till tomorrow. So for this week's Adventure Quest release, we only have a very small release. We have the return of a rare item monster hunt. Okay, so these used to be quite prevalent back in the day, or quite popular. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to find a specific monster, and then once you beat the monster, you have a chance of getting the monster's equipment. Last time back in the past, it wasn't necessarily tied to a monster. It could be tied to a certain location. You had to click on some secret area or some secret location after being given a puzzle to unlock said equipment. But this time round, we have a monster hunt, so you need to find a monster and beat it, and the monster is called Harvest Golem. Harvest Golem, wrought forth from leftover food, has been spotted doing random adventures all over lore. Track down and defeat this machination of meat stuff and unlock a special shop full of harvest gear. This mob will only be lurking around the month of November, so don't delay. Do these things spoil what in the world? Okay, not sure what's wrong with the text there. So today's event, yeah, you don't see it here. So the fastest way to find it, I think, would be to go to travel map, sail east, and then you want to go to Paxia clans, visit Paxia. Defense forces, defense, and I think it's an earth monster if I'm not wrong. So you want to continue, and then you just want to keep attacking Giotto to only limit yourself to earth monsters. That is probably the fastest way to find it. So I'm going to pause the video here and we'll come back once I find the monster. Okay, so I found the monster. Didn't take me very long at all, and you can see here, even though this is not the max level version, so this is probably going to be easier than the max level version, but beating the lower level version will still give you the rewards all the same. This golem is formed of various Harvest Fest feast goodies, and will certainly make a tasty treat once you beat the life. Golem's actually alive out of it. Okay, so let's just do Battle Claw here. And yeah, 80% to all, and we can inflict the choke. Okay, yeah, seems like it doesn't do a lot of damage. I mean, this isn't the max version after all, so that's understandable. And boom, explodes. Golem goodies. So let's see what we have here. I have the info subs up on my Discord, so if you guys want to go ahead and look at the info subs for this thing and look at the math yourself, you can do that. But I'm just going to roughly go through what they do. So looks like there are Z token versions, there are also gold versions. So the max level one, there's a gold version, thankfully. Okay, so Harvest, Hibernation, Sickle, Scythe, or Staff. So the Sickle is melee, the Scythe should be range, and the Staff should be magic. Alright, so let's take a look at it. This symbol of the Harvest can unleash the might of the four winds, and can strike with Harvest energy to send your foe into hibernation, stunning them and making them more vulnerable to earth damage. Artwork, not really my favorite, but it doesn't look too bad either. I'm gonna give it a 7. And then, ooh, the Scythe looks a lot better, I think. The Scythe, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Yeah, I think the Scythe looks really good. The Staff looks a bit little weird. I'm gonna give it a 7 as well. Okay, so it's a Mastercraft melee range magic wing weapon. Melee has +3 BTH lean, range has -3 BTH lean, has an 8.74 proc effect special, similar to Kaisa or Stormlight. 8.74, not very high chance. Special has a 100 times magic mod times BTH mod times hits over a 10% chance to attempt to inflict Harvest Hibernation, renamed Windswept for 1 turn. This has a +0 save bonus. Player main stat over luck versus monsters endurance over luck. Magic mod equals 0.75, 1 otherwise. BTH mod equals to 85/88 for melee, 85/82 for range, 1 otherwise. Mastercraft compresses a wind weapon skill. Has 2 hits. Standard skill costs us in SP pay 64% damage and attempt to inflict the Windswept for 1 turn. This has a -20 save bonus. Player main stat over luck versus monsters endurance over luck. So there are some bugs. The melee range versions currently cost 125% melee in SP, and the magic version currently costs us 100% melee in SP. So is that a good bug or is that a bad bug? Wait, let me see. I am not sure. Standard skill cost in SP. So I think they're supposed to be slightly cheaper or something. I'm not entirely sure, but whatever. We'll buy just the magic version and we'll take a look at it. By the way, I did manage to get lucky and got some of the other donation items, which the raffle items, sorry. I will showcase all of those at the end of the contest because right now I still don't have the melee weapon as well as the armors. I don't have both of the armors, so I'm hoping I'll get both of them before the raffle ends. By the way, the raffle has been extended all the way to December 1st, so you still want to log in every day for a chance to win the raffle items. Are the raffle items anything fantastic? No, except for the shield if you're a mage build, but I kind of still want to get them, you know, for like collection sake or just so I can show them off in the video. So that is it. All we get is one item and one monster for this week. Very small release week, but I did hear that IMR is getting a much needed vacation. That's why the release is smaller. Speaking of which, it is 5th November, so Black Friday will be coming up in a few weeks time, so you guys definitely want to go ahead and stay tuned and subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see my recommendations for a Black Friday buying guide. Okay, let's go ahead and test out the weapon against a combat practice trainer to see how good this is. I don't really think it's very good on paper, but we'll test it out first before we make judgment. Okay, so I can attack. Okay, wait, let me just take away that shield. I can click on it, right? Click to unleash bountiful harvest energy to put your foe in a harvest hibernation. 392 SP. Usually, magic versions are supposed to be more expensive, right? And melee and ranged versions are supposed to be cheaper, right? Oh, I think maybe the values were swapped. Okay, I think that was the bug. 2 hits. Harvest, let's see. Oh, so it's a wind freeze. Alright, so 1.5 times wind resistance for the earth resist. Okay. Special. Special has a chance to inflict that without spending SP, I think. Let's see if we can get the special to proc. 8.74 proc chance. Not very high, but I think, yeah, it's slightly lower than usual. I think normal proc chances on average are about 10. So 8.74 is a little bit lower than that. 5 being super low, like the stupid 20th anniversary weapon. Yeah, that was 5, though it felt more like 0.5 because I couldn't get that crap to proc. Yeah, let's see if we can get it to proc before we kill this guy. I'm not gonna pause the video, I'm just gonna keep spamming attack and hopefully this thing procs. Nope. So there's a chance you can use the skill for free, but if you don't want to, you can spend SP to use the skill straight up. The special I don't think is useful at all, simply because the chance isn't very high. Like, I would rather you just spend the SP to proc it if you really need the skill, because why would you, you know, waste or risk your turns on not proccing the skill when you need the skill the most? Yeah, I would just spend the SP to use it. The special is, I would say it's kind of nice because it means, yep, there we go. Sometimes you can get it for free, but if you really need it, then you do need to spend the SP. That being said though, how good is this skill? Is this special? Not very good, because most boss monsters nowadays are immune to stun. You can of course use this against regular mobs, but we want to spend 392 SP on a regular mob? I don't really think so. Okay, maybe you might, if you can nuke it down, like after you stun it, and then you can try and nuke it down with the with a earth attack or something like that. Yeah, that's like the only case that I can think of. Other than that, I don't think it's that good. It is versus the monster's endurance over luck. Monsters in the game, I would say about a good chunk of them do have endurance, so it's not like you're going to be landing this all the time. Keep in mind, this is against combat practice trainer, so on top of me always hitting the monster, you do need to hit for this to apply, by the way. You also need to have a safe roll versus the monster's endurance. So honestly, this weapon, usability wise, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Not that good of a weapon. I would just pick it up for collection's sake if you have the spare, you know, inventory slots. But other than that, I wouldn't really recommend getting this at all. And that's pretty much it for this week's super short release. Before I end off the video, I just want to address a few points. So it has come to my attention that certain members in the community are trying to devalue my opinions, which I think is just very dumb, because at the end of the day, these are just personal opinions. I did not try to present them as facts. Even though my opinions are viewed pretty heavily by you guys, my supporters, I do really appreciate your support. But at the end of the day, they are personal opinions. They are not meant to be facts. I think what is even more irksome is that they feel that their opinions are facts, whereas the opinions by other people, they just brush it off as merely as opinions. Whereas whatever comes out of their mouth, they make it sound like it's a fact, when in reality everyone's opinions are about as accurate as the next person out there, because at the end of the day, they are just opinions. You guys get what I'm trying to say? Your view of an item, a monster, a quest, a boss, or the game as a whole is the same as any other player out there. Like, just because you are a bit more knowledgeable, it doesn't mean that you are more correct. Like, you can be wrong too, and we are all human. It's normal to make mistakes, and I am not afraid to admit that and backtrack on certain items when someone else convinces me otherwise. But at the same time, I am also not afraid to stick to my guns when I feel strongly about certain things. When something is really good, I will say it's very good, and when something is very bad, I will say something is very bad. I know a lot of you guys follow me for my honesty, and I do appreciate you for that. I am not affiliated with AE in any way, and I am not on particularly close terms with any of the staff. Some people who are on closer terms with the staffs in terms of PMs, I don't really know what they talk about, but that's not the main point. The main point is that if you're friends with somebody, then you're not going to outright tell them that their work sucks, at least not in public, because you want to save some face for them, and because you need to consider your friend's feelings, right? Like, say for example, if your friend draws a portrait of you and you think it's very ugly, you're not gonna tell him that it's very ugly, or at least not in public. Like, you wouldn't shame him in public for it. At worst, you might tell him in private, hey, I think this isn't that good. But when in public, you're probably going to say, I think it's not bad. Like, that is the bare minimum you're going to say. If you're a nice guy, then you'll probably say, oh, it's actually fantastic. But yeah, you guys get what I'm trying to say. If you're on closer terms with someone, if you're friendly with someone, you're not gonna outright tell them that their work sucks for fear of hurting their feelings, and of course you want to save face for them. So I think that might affect some people's judgment of certain things inside the game. Not saying that they can't be objective, but this is something to keep in mind when you are viewing opinions from different angles. Of course, everyone does play this game differently, so one person's opinions isn't everything. You definitely should try and take in opinions from a bunch of different sources and then make your own conclusion on which ones you agree with. Okay, lastly, I did propose to have an in-game survey to find out the sentiments of the player base and the community as a whole. However, some people are opposed to the idea. I do not know why. Maybe they are afraid that the results will not work in their favor. Maybe they are afraid that the results will just prove that they are the minority. The thing is, in any game out there, even if it's not Adventure Quest, even if it's not Arctic's Entertainment games, surveys, feedback surveys are very prevalent and very important to help steer the devs in the direction that players want the game to be, that players want to see in a game. It doesn't matter how great you make your game out to be. If players aren't happy, they are going to leave, and that is why it's very important to gauge player satisfaction from time to time and give players what they want, especially if these players are the majority. Like, not to say that we should completely ignore the minority. The minority should definitely receive some love from time to time, but as with all things in life, it is impossible to please everyone, and that is why you should always aim to please the majority. This is even more important for an old game like Adventure Quest. The game didn't come here 20 years down the road by coincidence. It's not a coincidence that the game lasted so long. The game only lasted so long because players are willing to support the game. And if you don't give the players what they want, or majority of the players what they want, they will slowly start to leave. And that's when the game will start to die. So I think like it's a perfect time now, especially when you have so many new and returning players coming back into the game. I think it's a perfect time to implement a survey to go ahead and gauge to see what players actually want to see from the developers, to keep them playing, to keep them spending money on the game. Of course, I know that the staff is very tied up with their releases, especially during this time of the year. It's probably the busiest time of the year for the staff, but it doesn't have to be anything complicated. All I'm suggesting is that you have a link inside the game. It has to be inside of the game in order for it to work. Like on any other third-party platform, it's not going to work because many people might not have access or might not use these third-party platforms. You can have a link inside the game that links to a third-party platform, but the link has to first be publicized inside of the game so everyone will see it. Okay, like a Google Form survey. In fact, I've already listed out quite a few sample questions in my post. So if the team wants, they can just take and copy all my questions and paste it on the Google Forms. Link that Google Form survey to somewhere inside the game, preferably something like today's event, or maybe like they just add one more button here, game survey, so that everyone can go ahead and do it and voice their thoughts and feedback on what they feel the game should be. I've also suggested for all of the questions to be multiple choice, and I've timed myself doing it. It takes like under 3 minutes. I don't think players will be averse to taking like a 3-minute survey that is all multiple choice, right? And on top of that, I've also recommended them to give like a small reward, be it in the form of item or be it in the form of some tokens. I think it'll be also good to encourage players to actually want to do the survey. And I do admit that there is the problem of, you know, people just doing the survey anyhow in order to get the rewards as quickly as possible. Yes, that is a problem for all surveys, but it doesn't mean that, you know, all the companies out there stop doing surveys because of that, right? It doesn't automatically render all survey results useful. It's a limitation that we can try to minimize, but we cannot avoid completely, and that's, you know, just something that is true for all surveys, but it doesn't mean that surveys aren't helpful at all. So if you guys think what I said makes sense, if you guys want to see and survey inside of the game, then do go ahead and go to the post that I made and go and +1 it or go and show your support for it. I will link the post down in the description below so you guys can go ahead and check it out. And if you guys have any other ideas or questions that you think should be added that can help to improve it, then do let me know in that post as well. So that's going to do it for today's short release video, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and of course subscribe to this channel if you guys would like to see more of such future content. Till the next time, I'm your host Korriban Gaming. Peace out.